Mashups can be a lot of fun. Who doesn't like the idea of adding two great things together to combine them into one amazing thing? Peanut butter and chocolate, rum and coke, RoboCop and Terminator. Some of my favorite things are crossovers, like the Aliens vs. Predator comics. Who in their right mind could really say that this isn't one of the coolest things to ever happen in pop culture? This series was fucking amazing. Awesome artwork, awesome stories, two of the most iconic characters in sci-fi horror history clashing in a battle for dominance. The parasite animal of the universe versus the ultimate hunter of the universe. Another great example is meshing comedy and action, or action and horror, or all of them, until it becomes its own awesome subgenre, which at this point it most definitely has. Sam Raimi's insanely rewatchable Evil Dead franchise is a perfect example of combining different genre elements and making it work oh so fucking beautifully. You've got the grotesque gore and mood of horror, the slapstick comedy of the Three Stooges, and over-the-top action. It's brilliant. This formula continues to work as there are many other prime horror comedy examples. Bad Taste, Brain Dead, Reanimator, Blood Diner, Shaun of the Dead, and of course many more. Naturally, combining two things of greatness doesn't always end up becoming a memorable subgenre. Sometimes it's a flat-out fucking bad combo. The Alien vs. Predator movies come to mind. But when it works, it is fucking awesome. Like in the horror buddy cop comedy action flick from 1988, Dead Heat. Officers Doug Bigelow and Roger Mortis are the city's finest high-risk-taking, living-on-the-edge, loaded-weapon cop duo. But when their use of unnecessary, excessive deadly force results in a morgue slab of alive and kicking body parts, they come to find that something may not be quite right with the criminal element that infests their city, besides the usual case of bank robbing and bondage gear. I'm just going to go ahead and say it without introducing him by his name or anything, but it's Vincent Price. Vincent Price is bringing criminals back to life as physically enhanced, super mutated zombies with his resurrection machine. This plot element, combined with Joe Piscopo and Treat Williams spouting one-liners and shit, seriously makes for one of the most entertaining movies I've ever seen in my life. The reanimation zombie stuff genre and action buddy cop genre officially collide and create a kick-ass zombie buddy cop subgenre, baby, when Officer Mortis is killed in the line of duty when he and Officer Bigelow are investigating the company clearly responsible for the resurrection machine. The lead for the case helps Bigelow reanimate Officer Roger Mortis, bringing him into the league of undead cop heroes like Alex Murphy and Matt Cordell. Oh, Roger Mortis, huh? Roger Mortis? Like rigor mortis or something? A little bit of corpse humor there for ya. Roger feels great at first, but finds that he's slowly rotting away, which ends up resulting in some nice back and forths between him and Officer Bigelow, like when Roger is putting on makeup to hide how dead he looks.
So, what color did you get?
Mulberry wine.
It's a good choice. Brings out your eyes.
Though Bigelow's got some great lines and moments in the movie to begin with, Joe Piscopo is without a doubt one of the highlights of this movie.
You're under arrest. You have the right to remain disgusting.
I'm sure that's necessary.
You can't be too careful.
Disrespectful conduct, flippant and tasteless verbal remarks.
That was me.
You know, the weird thing is, I feel fine. I feel like I could run in the Boston Marathon.
No, you couldn't, Roger. It's not open to dead people. Roger, he said I should hurt you. But I'm gonna hurt him.
With the amount of comedy the film has, it also manages to include some pretty genuine horror moments, too. Mortis finds out that the woman who tipped him and Bigelow off about the resurrection machine thing ends up being a product of it too. And it results in some pretty fucked up shit.
Sorry, Roger.
I'm getting flashbacks to watching RoboCop when I was 6 years old, all over again. Thanks a lot, Dead Heat.
I'm sorry, Roger.
Having this happen helps to set a heavy enough tone, making the action that takes place, especially in the third act, come across as even more badass than it already is. Besides Mortis knowing by now that he's completely fucked and is just going to break down and rot away, Bigelow is killed and taken by Vincent Price and his mutant goons to be turned into the ultimate mutant zombie brainwashed bad guy. By this point, Officer Roger Mortis is in full rotten zombie cop mode, and shit gets fucking real. Mortis manages to snap Bigelow out of his hypnotized zombie state, and together they take down Vincent Price and his zombie machine. They're promised immortality if they'll just work for him, but they have too much honor for that shit and would rather die than let this evil dude take the city over with his immortal mutant zombie thugs. Properly executed action, effective horror moments, and genuine comedy. Dead Heat belongs in the ranks of movies like Reanimator and Evil Dead just as much as movies like Shaun of the Dead already does. The creature effects are fucking awesome. Many of the zombie mutant things has its own grotesquely unique look, each looking like some Clive Barker or H.P. Lovecraft-laced fever dream. I love it. Dead Heat was written by Terry Black and directed by Mark Goldblatt. Mark Goldblatt has almost no directing credits besides this, and the criminally underrated Dolph Lundgren Punisher. He has amazing credits as an editor, though, being the editor on everything from The Howling, Terminator 1 and 2, Rambo 2, Nightbreed, and recent flicks like Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Chappie. Terry Black is screenwriter Shane Black's brother. Unfortunately, he hasn't done a whole lot besides Dead Heat, some episodes of Tales from the Crypt here and there, and some other stuff. That's about it. Both have ties to Shane Black. Goldblatt did the editing for The Last Boy Scout, which features my favorite writing from Shane Black. Joe Piscopo's comedic timing is no surprise, as he dominated Saturday Night Live with Eddie Murphy in the 80s. His impressive physique is no surprise either. As a response to a thyroid cancer diagnosis, he took to working out like a madman, which actually ended up landing him on the cover of Muscle and Fitness. Treat Williams is one of those great that guys. You've more than likely seen him somewhere in something. He's been a working actor since 1975 and is still going strong, both in TV and movies. Some other great recognizable faces here, like Robert Picardo, who's played iconic characters in everything from The Howling, Gremlins 2, and Star Trek Voyager. Peter Kent plays one of the undead criminals at the beginning of the film, and this wasn't the first time he had done this. He was also brought back to life as a maniac in Reanimator. He's also arguably the world's most famous stuntman, appearing in pretty much every Arnold Schwarzenegger film as Arnold's stunt double. And Vincent Price is Vincent fucking Price. I mean, what do you really want me to say here? Are you seriously watching this show and you don't know anything about Vincent Price? There's the unsubscribe button right there. You fucking fairy. He's one of the world's most iconic actors and defined so much of the horror genre. Look at it this way. Vincent Price starred in House of Wax, which is one of his most career-defining films, which featured Charles Bronson as his brute assistant named Igor, which was not only one of Bronson's first roles, but one of his most recognizable early roles. A Vincent Price film further helped the world to recognize the greatness of Charles Bronson. What more is there to say? And on the subject of recognizing greatness, I would not have known about this film if it were not for Mr. 45 himself, Dustin Kidd, a fantastic synth artist and personal friend of mine. It was him randomly linking me to this clip that compelled me to seek the movie out in full, because I had to know the context of just what the fuck is going on here. I mean, really, if that didn't make you want to see the movie, I don't know how to help you.